Hi everyone, this is Lakshmi Sumana, and first of all, I'd like to thank you all for all the love and support that you've showered on us. So please continue to like, share, subscribe, and also comment to our YouTube channel.
We never thought we'll come this long. We never thought the group which we were talking about back then will convert into a foundation which is running now.
So, आप पुलिस स्टेशन से वापस क्यों आ रहे हैं?
Gay, bisexual or transgender, I'm a criminal.
Yeah,
We have been brought up with a heterosexual mother, father.
absolutely.
Probably heterosexual parents. So if we would have been brought up with them, so we would have also turned to heterosexual person. Because बात आप सुष्मिता सेन या शाहरुख खान नहीं बन जाते हो that I will hit on every guys or I'll hit on every girls in that matter. No? We used to ask for giving us chances because back then 377 was also there.
How did the Mobbera Foundation evolve before and after the 377? I've heard that there were significant struggles before the 377 and that it was more difficult to run it. So today we have with us Sandeepan Kushari, the co-founder of the Mobbera Foundation. Hi Sandeepan, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. Super. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming. And first of all, should I call you Sandeepan throughout the show or Sandy?
I think you can call me anyway, but then Sandy will be more comfortable.
Okay, Sandy.
Yeah.
So, आप पुलिस स्टेशन से वापस क्यों आ रहे हैं?
So I think for a community person who is into social work, police station जाना हमारा second घर हो जाता है. It's a place where you keep going. There are a lot of crisis handling. You have to do it because sometimes you can't see your people suffering.
So Sandy, could you tell us more about yourself?
Okay, so my full name is Sandeepan Kushari, as you already mentioned. So, and I go with the name Sandy. My pronouns are he and him. I am a Bengali, born and brought up in Jharkhand. Been in Hyderabad from last 12 years now. I am the founder as well as General Secretary of Mobbera Foundation, which is completing 10 years this year. Apart from this, I'm also a part-time singer. I have done painting, diploma in painting.
Nice.
And that's it, I think. That's it about me.
Okay.
Working with the community from last 10 years or a decade. Yeah.
Congratulations on reaching almost a decade with the
Thank you
Mobbera
so much.
Foundation. So could you just tell us what is the Mobbera Foundation all about?
Okay, so it started with a group. We community people. When I say community, it's LGBTIQ plus community, queer individual. Back when I was young, I'm still though, but again, when I was in my college days, we knew that we are from the community and we all were friends back then. So we thought there is a lack of spaces in Hyderabad where community people from the community can come down and talk about stuff and all. So at that moment, there was no support system. Hence, we started, let's start a small group. We never thought we'll come this long. We never thought the group which we were talking about back then will convert into a foundation which is running now. We just thought that it might be some small group where we try to help the community, try to be with the community, maybe a moral support, not much support which we are seeing today, but as a moral support, helping each other. That was the motto when we started this small group. Back 2015 when it started, we started doing small gatherings, small events, started performing in places where we used to ask for giving us chances because back then 377 was also there, and the talk about the LGBT and transgender community, queer and transgender community was not as common as usual as it is today.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to interrupt
Yes,
you here
sure.
for a minute. I'm sorry. You mentioned 377. So how did the Mobbera Foundation evolve before and after the 377? I've heard that there were significant struggles before the 377 and that it was more difficult to run it. Is it true?
Absolutely. I think before 377, as I said, that there was no dialogue about it. So people, even to get a space to hold an event was a big challenge. We never used to get. There was only 1 or 2 spaces which opened their arm to support the community, to give the spaces for doing event, for gathering. Even meeting in person for people back then was a big challenge. Where do we meet? Where do we get that space? If meeting was a challenge back then, so you can think job, mental health, or anything which we talk about was obviously something which we can't even imagine back then.
Absolutely.
But post 377, things have started evolving a lot. Like we got spaces easily. Now situation is that if we do one event in one space, the other space person asks us, why didn't you do this event at our space?
Wow.
So I think this change is there. The change is there. Corporate have opened their arm. There are a lot of insurance policies which have changed, adding same-sex partner also in the insurance. Not every company, not every insurance does it. But I think these changes came from 370. Our post 377, people are talking about it. Previously, I think the biggest change which I have seen in the community was people who are not aware of law, who doesn't know what is 377, used to think that if I am gay, bisexual, or transgender, I'm a criminal.
Yeah,
377 doesn't say that. 377 doesn't say that your existence will be a criminal. No. 377 clearly used to say if you are found having any physical relationship or if you are trying to marry, then the law comes into picture.
Okay.
But the common knowledge within the community, the ground community people, because they don't know the law. Everybody doesn't know the law.
Yeah.
Even we are not aware of a lot of laws which center government or the government provide us. So there are so many things which misconception community people used to carry. But post 377, the one misconception and the biggest victory within the community which I have seen was people have started opening up, coming out of their closeted, and have understood that we are no more criminal.
Great.
So they thought that their existence was also being a criminal only. They said, I'm a gay, because people used to say, Ari, why are you doing this event outside? Police will come and catch you. I mean, like, why? I'm gay and that police cannot catch me for that. So people used to have that mindset, and that mindset had changed post 377.
That's amazing. So you have mentioned about the misconceptions that people have. I've noticed that, people aren't fully aware about the LGBTQ community yet. There is still a lot of misinformation spreading, and there are still a lot of myths that go around.
Sure.
So being the co-founder of the Mobbera Foundation, who's also involved in law and who is constantly going to the police station. I would like to take this opportunity to ask you, could you talk about the common misconceptions that people still have, and what is the actual truth?
There are many, I think, misconception, or you name this as a myth. There are many myths which community people have to listen every other day. One being, if you are with someone who is from the LGBT community, you will also turn to be person from the LGBT community. And that's very common myth. I think we all, even me in that matter, have grown up in that way.
I've grown up in that way.
Yes, because I was, when somebody used to sit with me in the class, people used to say that, uske saath mat baitho, tu bhi waisa ban jayega. So we have to understand, we have been brought up with a heterosexual family.
Yeah.
If there is something Sangat ka prabhav, which could have been happened to us also in that matter, we have been brought up with a heterosexual mother, father.
Absolutely.
Probably heterosexual parents. So if we would have been brought up with them, so we would have also turned to heterosexual person, because we have been with them from years. But it's not about whom you are eating food. It's not about whom you are roaming around. No, it never comes. Sexuality or gender identity can never change if you are hanging out with someone. That's the biggest myth, first. Second, I think if you are a gay or a lesbian, you will like all the guys in the world, or all the gays in the women in the world. No, that's not. We have to understand, if somebody is coming out to be a gay or lesbian, रातों रात आप सुष्मिता सेन या शाहरुख खान नहीं बन जाते हो that I will hit on every guys or I'll hit on every girls in that matter. No, we also have our own choices. We also have and understand whom we want to be in our life. Also misconceptions like transgender. There's a difference. There's a transgender person and hijra persons are same. No, they are not. Transgender is a gender identity. Hijra is a culture. It's an ancient culture. So we cannot name everyone from the community or a transgender community to be part of a hijra community. So a very famous line goes in this way that all hijras are transgender because that's a gender identity, but all transgenders are not hijras because it is your choice to get into that culture or not. So if I'm a trans-identified person, it doesn't mean that I have to be in a hijra culture. I can be in a corporate employee. I can work in an NGO. I don't need to go in a hijra culture.
Absolutely.
So that's a choice. But people think that all transgenders are hijra. So that is also a biggest myth. I think these are the biggest myth which I have heard about the community aspect as of now. And yeah.
So I really love how there is more awareness nowadays, but it still needs to go ahead because people still get confused between identities. I think one of the biggest myth that I have seen probably, or maybe I have once believed, is that gay and trans are same. I'm sorry to say that.
No, yeah, that's how it is.
This is what I believed when I was young too. But now that I am educating myself a little bit more on this because I have friends from the community, I realize that they are different too.
True. I think also in the same way, if there is another myth which I forgot when you mentioned about trans community, it is that trans people are born trans. So there are a lot of movies, or we have seen a lot of advertisement in that matter that बच्चा पैदा हो रहा है and then आपके घर में हिजड़ा आया and then hijra people comes and they take off the kid. We have seen those in the movies, in the advertisement. That's never happens. Nobody is born trans or hijra. It's an identity. We have to understand. It's a gender identity and it's a culture. Hijra is a culture, gender identity is a transgender identity. Nobody is born transgender.
Absolutely.
We have identified our gender because it's very different between sex, gender, and identity, right? So, yeah, these are the things.
Like, as I've said earlier, due to lack of education and awareness on this concept, I've seen a couple of Bollywood movies and other movies down the south also spreading misinformation about the community because they don't possibly have the access to it. But I'm glad that, we have somebody like you on the show who could actually give us the right knowledge about it. So now coming back to the Mobbera Foundation. So what are the key initiatives at Mobbera Foundation? What do you do as the co-founder?
So as we started with 5, as I mentioned. It was a very small group back then and we didn't know what to do. We wanted to help, that was only in our mind, and I was the eldest in the group. So you can think the others were very younger. So for back then to understand what we have to do, what is the setup of an NGO, what are the things we have to do, we are still learning. I won't say we are there yet. But we already were students back then. Now we started working, but we always wanted to do something for the community, betterment of the community. So back then we thought, how do we let people know, or also in the other way, how do we clear out the misconception and myth from the mind of the people? Though we thought if we keep giving lecture, if we go and talk to if we just go and talk to the general public out there, nobody's going to listen to you. Why will they listen to you? Because there's already a long concepts there from the childhood. We have been
pre-conditioned.
Yes, with the conditioning itself, it's very wrong. From our childhood, we have been taught that transgenders को देख के दूर भाग जाओ. They are उनसे दूर रहना, डरना उनसे. So this concept have been evolved from years, and suddenly removing that, it's not possible. Hence, what we thought, let's take one thing which is very important and which easily pass on the message is art. I think art is a medium where everyone and anyone connects in that matter. Absolutely. Irrespective of you are an artist, you perform or not, but you will obviously love art forms. Hence, we started catch that, and we all were little bit good at whatever we were. We thought, let's do some art related sensitization sessions. So we took that as a flash mob. Hence the name also came from the flash mob, only Mobbera's name also. So we took the flash mob as one, and we were the first one to perform near the Osmania College. This is the first time history we made in any Telugu state. We performed in just outside the Osmania College, big college, and we did it in 2015. We did a small flash mob, letting the struggle know about the community, talking people through the art of through the medium of art. And it helped. People came down, asked about things, shared their views, and talked to us and asked what is the correct thing to talk about.
So just like Impact Lens frames stories through each episode, you also frame stories and share the difficulties and the lives and the ultimate truth about the communities through your artwork.
Absolutely. I think that one thing we are still continuing, and I'm glad we are still able to do. But then with the evolving of foundation, we have also started a lot of things. While we were doing art, as you asked the question about how and what are the works we do in the foundation, we have started with art taking as a medium, but post that we understood, okay, this is one form, but then there should be other ways of reaching out to people. Hence, we started doing sensitization session. We reached out to corporate. Back then, we used to reach out because nobody, 377 was there.
Yeah.
Nobody used to approach us. So we used to reach out corporates, colleges, and telling them, this is important. Gender sensitization sessions should be done in, college levels. And also we got lot of rejections. Lot of people say, no, these are things we are not going to discuss and all. Our students ko mind mein galat information jayega and all. But we got chances before 377. I won't deny. There were chances that we went to people and we talked about it. Few colleges came ahead, universities came ahead, and we had spread the messages. While we were doing this and 377 was still there, post 377, we thought we have to, right now, it's the time where we have to just not let people know about the community, let our people know about our existence, but also it's important to uplift the community. If we are in a certain position where we do not need to beg for people to accept us, if we are in a certain position, certain work, then people will automatically come and say, okay, these people have also talent. They are also hidden crowd, but at the same time, they have a lot of talent if given opportunity.
Absolutely.
Hence, we started within the foundation, we started one thing which is called, started upskilling the community.
Great.
With the talent they carry. No, we are not forcing them to, if you are good at beautician, if you are good at makeup, we are not forcing you to learn Java. No. Whatever you are good at, let's upskill the community, because a lot of people from the community have stopped their education because of thrown out of the family.
Yeah.
They have been thrown out in the roads. They have their mental health issues are coming in between. So we thought, let's give them a space. So luckily we got a lot of expert or people also who trained them. We were able to give them certification. We were trying to do all this. While we were doing this also, we thought, okay, certification is one side we are giving, but what about providing a job opportunity to
That's
them?
great.
Within the foundation, we started Project Upadhi. Upadhi is the Telugu word, where we started collaborating with a lot of corporates. Back then, we started with only corporates. Now, I'm glad to let you know that we are also collaborated with aviation industry,
Nice.
Hotel industry, and also small businesses and small companies also, where we give them a sensitization session, previous recruitment. We tie up with them for a recruitment session.
So, I'd like to interrupt you here. I'm sorry again.
No problem.
So you were talking about the upskilling of the community members and how important it is. I think that, Mobbera is doing an amazing job with it, because upskilling people from the community is very important. As you said, they get thrown out of families. They're quite scrutinized in the society. Nobody really accepts them. And it's also sad to see that many schools and colleges also do not really identify them or accept them as an identity. So you're right on this, where you're telling them that, we're here, like whatever you want to do, whatever your passion is, we're ready to support you, we're ready to upskill you, we're ready to provide you certifications. I think you're doing a very good job over there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's not me again, I repeat.
I mean, you as in Mobbera Foundation.
Yeah, it's a huge people who have been come again. And like when I see back 10 years now, while I was inviting everyone for our upcoming anniversary celebration, I saw that so many people have worked with me. And I tell you, I repeat, and I'm so proud, I would definitely like to say this, it's not just community people have worked with me. I have allies who have stood for me. I have allies who have been always working with me. And I'm so proud, very emotional again to talk about it, because they have been driven the entire journey. Because if they wouldn't have stand beside us or back of us saying, हम हैं, हम लेके जाएंगे इसको आगे, आप सिर्फ चलो. So I think it's a huge, everybody's effort, which whatever we are small, we are able to do today. It's all not me or any of the founder again. Everyone in that.
Everyone's
matter.
effort.
Yes, it is. It is. And not just community people, allies who have day and night walked with us. So yeah. I'm grateful.
I also love how you guys believe in the fact where you're saying that, you should be able to empower yourself first, where you have established yourself as somebody or something in the society, wherein you could bring the change.
You can be also an example for a lot of
other people. You can be an example,
yes.
Absolutely. Like seeing somebody from the community could be a good inspiration for the youngsters out there, where they can also find hope. Like, I can also do something.
Absolutely.
I can also become something. They could be great role models. So coming back to Project Upadhi, I think, what would you want to say about Project Upadhi?
I think one of the very important thing which we have started in the foundation is Project Upadhi. It's also very personal to me. I have seen myself or my community people struggling in corporate spaces where their acceptance or because of their gender and sexual identity, they've been discriminated to a level that after completing 1.5 years of work together, they have to abscond from the company. When you say abscond, you do not get experience letter. So you can imagine the person worked for 1.5 years, have to abscond and not taking their experience letter, which will also be a problem for their own career. But why that person chose to do? Because of the discrimination. And that happened in my own company back then. So while looking and seeing and listening to so many such stories, I thought we have to place people where it is community friendly. We cannot guarantee 100% safe space anywhere. It's impossible. There's no space in the world which we can say that it's 100% safe space. But again, to make that space also comfortable for the community people to come and work, it's important for us to have an accountability. Hence, we tie up with those organizations where we can ask them a question back. Like, okay, we have 10 people working with you. Did they find any kind of issues with them? We can ask them, and that is our moral rights, because that's what you claim yourself for. That
so you're taking accountability.
Yes, absolutely. We follow up with the candidate till 3 months. Post that also, you can anytime reach out to us, but till 3 months is something which give a time interval, because there are a lot of people we have to follow up. So we can't keep budging people about it. But till 3 months, we keep follow them, and we make sure that we let them know if any issue, please reach out to us anytime. So we can talk to the HR or management over there.
Great.
So with Project Upadhi, now it's gonna complete 2 years.
That's
working with lot of corporates. We are tied up with 18 to 19 corporates as of now. I think 19. Recently, we have signed an MOU with another company. 19 company, and we have tied up with two big hotel industry, ITC in that matter. We are pan-India tie-up with them with all the properties, just not in Hyderabad, but several properties all over India. And also we are tied up with an aviation company also. So these all have given us 280 candidates placed till now in different sectors together. And I'm glad that all of them are doing great in their job. Few get promotion also recently. When I get to listen to this news, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. And I call them personally and say, I'm so proud that we were able to just give you the path you have walked in.
I'm proud of Mobbera Foundation listening to all of these stories genuinely. So talking about corporates and companies, there's this new human resources concept coming up called the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusivity. So I know that you are incorporated with a lot of corporates and you're getting a lot of people placed. But apart from the companies that you are connected with and tied up with, what is the general situation of inclusivity in India right now? Like, are they as inclusive as they call themselves to be, or is it still a long journey, or what's happening?
I think the answer will be no, absolutely no, because irrespective of we try to place people, because my agenda, my thought is also in a way where my community people is suffering for job. I have to see in that angle also. I can't always have a flag bearing that, corporate did this, we have to ignore, boycott corporate. Where will my people go? Job or financial stability is a very important aspect for my community people.
Absolutely.
Unlike other communities out there, because there you'll have some or other support. My community people, most of them, especially if they come from a ground trans Hijra community, they won't have any support. They won't have support from relatives, family, their own partner, no one. Where will they go? How will they eat? The basic necessity of, which in Hindi we say, kapda, makan and khana. They don't get it. Many times they are thrown out from those places also. Hence, I will always choose for their livelihood or betterment over me being a flag bearer of boycotting something. But yes, to answer your questions, inclusivity is still a big question in the communities, in the corporate spaces, because I don't know, many times we see it's a June month again. June month is the only time I keep saying that this is the only month we are gay, rest all 11 months we are straight. Because no corporate comes to us in the next 11 months. And no people come and talk about LGBT community in the June month. And this year it's not there also. There's no much. At times till last year, we see every brands, big brands, changing their colors, their, putting that a rainbow things. We find it in Uber. When you book something, you'll find rainbow cards available and all. Where are those this year? No.
I haven't
Just
seen them
because
either.
Trump has said something in US. Everything is cut short. I didn't had a hope this year, June, that we'll even get some opportunities. But I'm lucky enough, Mobbera is lucky enough, that we got few opportunities this year. So I'm glad that those corporates who have still not given up when it's say DEI, they haven't removed LGBT out of DEI because of some person's opinion and are still striving, pushing the entire concept. I'm glad and thankful for those corporate. But I will also request to other corporates who have proclaimed or you have, a big band baja bajai that we are very inclusive, are the first people to remove LGBT from their DEI. I'm very sad such corporate have come and given that kind of bad expression, bad example for other people to also think about. And I'm very thankful and glad for the people who are still striving the concept against, irrespective of they have pressure from outside and upper, because they also have to. They all have to listen to what it comes from the upper side. They cannot take their own decision, but they are trying to navigate some or other way, and I think that is important. Challenges will be there, but how do we make sure that humanity survives is important. Absolutely. And they are doing it. I'm glad. So I would not say that inclusivity is 100% anywhere or it has reached at least to the maximum level. No, but then I think we have to strive more harder.
Okay. So I mean, because we're doing this episode, I want to try to see that, this episode is as informational and educational as possible, because the entire aim of Impact Lens is not only sharing impactful stories, but also educating on the right paths so that they know how to present themselves and they know how to ask the right questions and do stuff. So usually whenever I meet someone from the community and when I know that, or when I feel that, they might be from the community, I usually go up to them and I'm like, I'm sorry if I get you wrong or if I say something wrong, but what do you identify as? Or like, if you're not even comfortable with that, like, what are your pronouns? At least let me know that so that
Sure.
I could address you right.
Absolutely.
So we have pronouns right now. We have he, him, she, her, they, them. So could you just quickly break them down for us?
So pronouns is, as you correctly mentioned, it's not like if you go and ask someone, what are your pronouns, they will shout at you or something. No, that's the sweetest way, or I think the very correct way to address someone rather than misgendering or mispronouncing someone, right? It's absolutely okay to go and ask someone what's your pronouns are. Also, the myth, again, the concept of myth overcomes the picture that if somebody is declaring their pronouns or talking about their pronouns, that means they are from the LGBT community. It's a greater myth. No. Declaring pronoun is just you are letting the opposite person know how they should address you. That's the only thing. It has nothing to do with your gender identity. It has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. Now, why I said it's a myth again, I'll give an example. My own sister, what she did, she obviously knows about me, while she went ahead and there was a pop singer in the US and they have declared their pronouns in their Instagram ID. My sister calls and says me, you know what, this singer is also gay. I'm like, how do you know? Then she says, well, he is gay, uske account mein likha hua hai he, him. So this is the myth within the community, within the society altogether, that if at all you declare pronoun or if you are talking about pronoun, you are also from the LGBT community. No. So talking about he, him, so somebody who identify themselves or want to be addressed as a man or something, they can let the person know that I can be addressed as he, him. Now again, pronouns, as I said, has nothing to do with gender or sexual orientation. Yeah. So sometimes my gender identity will be gay. My sexual identity will be gay, but my pronouns might be she or her. So as I said, there's nothing to do with. So it's pronouns. The easiest way and the best way to ask is someone you have to go and ask, what are your pronouns? He, him, they, she, her, and they, them are the common pronouns used. There are other pronouns also, like ZZ. There are other pronouns also used. They, them is a very, very neutral to address. If you do not know somebody's pronouns, the safer side, if you are not even in a space or you do not feel comfortable to go and ask them, the best and the gender neutral pronouns, what you can say is they, them. You can address anyone with they, them, so that person will not they will not feel bad or they will not feel like no, they're
being called out or something.
Yes, because sometimes if the person looks like quote unquote men and their pronouns are he, her, you just address them, ha, can you come? Or in Hindi, if you say, tu kaise ja raha tha? so that person might get offended, right? So it's better, always a safer side. If you're not comfortable, you don't feel like, shall I ask, shall I not ask, will they feel bad about it? It's always good to ask. But sometimes if you feel that, hesitation, that shall I ask, shall I not ask, at that moment it's better to address them by they and them. That's the neutral pronouns to use.
So, apart from art and culture and upskilling them and providing them with jobs, what are the other things that you do?
So, as there are two big things which we do apart from all this. As I said, art, sensitization sessions, upskilling, as well as job. These are the four things. Apart from that, there are two other things, and which is and the other two things are also very important and very close to me. One is mental health.
Absolutely.
We all know how much mental health has been underestimated from years, and we all go through mental health issues. It's nothing only to do with the community, the queer community, or any community in that matter. We all have gone through mental health issues. We are still going through mental health issues, and in upcoming future we will also go through mental health issues because of so many things together, so many intersectional things which we are born with. So mental health was also within the community. Mental health is like every day morning you get up, there's someone who will taunt you. There's somebody, your parents will call and say, "Tu aisa paida hi kyun hua?" You're gone. Your whole day is gone.
Yeah.
So community mental health issues are quite common. Everyone from the community go through some or other mental health issues. Some may be little, some may be very much. Depends on situation. So looking into that angle, we always wanted to do something for the community people, and hence 1.5 years before we started a project called Project Buddy Up. Buddy Up is the 1.5 year old project which we started in the foundation. Back then the concept was to have someone, a psychologist from community, mostly from the community, so that they understand the issues of the community, and people who are reaching out to us for some help, something, maybe smaller helps which we can give and help them, rather than, because also we have to understand my community is not very much financially not stable. A lot of people are not stable. So if that is the case, they cannot afford psychologist
mental health
or
services,
psychiatrist in that matter. No, or mental health services in that matter. It's very hard for them, rather than choose, because if we are getting hurt in our leg, we will think of some medicine, some cream to apply to get it cured. But mental health is, again, it's very underestimated. We're like, okay, fine, it's better not to pay, I'll manage. And then it becomes more worse. Hence we started with them, and I'm so glad again to tell you this, that I never thought that project will hit so hard, that today a lot of people from the community knows it well, because now we have 4 in-house psychologists.
That's amazing.
And recently, not even a month, I think nearly 2 months, we have 2 in-house psychiatrists also. So when we were dealing with the cases, we also understood there were high-level cases which needs medical interventions, which needs a medicine intervention, or a proper therapy, which a psychologist cannot prescribe.
Yeah,
they don't have that license too. So they have to go to psychiatrist. And that point of time, what we were doing previously, we used to redirect it to someone who was not from the community, not much, but maybe some little bit community friendly. And a minimum amount they used to pay, and but that point of time it was getting hard for us also. We are not sure what going there, and so we were looking for a psychiatrist who can be our in-house psychiatrist and who can help us with that also. I'm glad that now we have a full pack of psychologists who is dealing with cases which doesn't need medicine intervention, who doesn't need immediate interventions. But we have also 2 psychiatrists who are ready to in-person also give services to handle cases which are very emergency basis. Like if somebody is going through trigger warning, somebody is going through suicidal tendency, or somebody is going through self-harming, so that has to be dealt immediately, right?
Yes.
We can't wait for 1 week or something. So for that cases, the psychiatrist is directed immediately, and she's handling it accordingly.
That's great.
And also with that also, recent, again, it's 1 month old only, transgender people struggle a lot with GD certificate. Now, what is GD certificate? It's called Gender Dysphoria Certificate. If you have to apply for a transgender ID card, which is issued by the government, the central government, you have to have a GD certificate for that. And also GD certificate helps in a lot of things. which will be issued by a psychiatrist. So that was done with a government psychiatrist, but the person was so irregular. And also, if you apply for today, GD certificate is to come after 6 months. And after that, you apply for trans ID card, it will come out after 6 months. So if you have to apply for a ID card for a transgender person,
for you to be identified as a trans by the government,
1 year you have to wait.
You'd have to wait
for a card. जो हमारे देश में for any card we are applying, Aadhaar, PAN, how much time? Hardly 1 month? No, that's the maximum time. Before that also
15-20 दिन में आ
जाता है. But for them, it was taking a longer time. So what we thought, since we have an in-house psychiatrist who have a license with her, why don't we provide it through her only? So she is able to now provide GD certificate. Recently, 3 or 4 transgender people have already received their, within a week, they have received their GD certificate. Now they are applying for trans ID card. So that 6-month duration is sorted in 1 week right now. At least in 6 months, they will get their trans ID card is the hope. And we are trying to help the community in that way. So I think mental health project Buddy Up is doing great in the foundation, and I'm glad, again, very much thankful for all the psychologists and psychiatrists, some being from the community, some not being from the community, understanding the cause and coming ahead and giving their service. And this all process, again I repeat, this all process is pro bono basis. Neither foundation is paying anything to the psychologist or psychiatrist for their services. Neither community people is paying something for their availing such services. This all thing is a purely community service run by a voluntary basis. So there's no finance involved in this. So I'm more glad in that way also, because when you get finance, people will come up. But when you really want to do something, it comes from heart.
It comes from the heart.
That is very important.
It's really amazing to hear how Mobbera is creating a safe space for mental health issues and for people to really accept who they are. And for them to actually get their identity.
True. I'm so sorry to stop you here. I forgot to mention one very important. The services is just not open for LGBT community. Anyone from the heterosexual community who is going, because we understand.
Who is human can just
Yes. Because mental health is very important subject, which is mostly not spoken, and it's not always talked about. But through this services, we have open, because we always say, आप लोग हमें एक्सेप्ट नहीं किए, पर हमारा सर्विस से हम आपको जरूर एक्सेप्ट करेंगे. सो आप प्लीज आइए. इफ यू आर एनीवन हु इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम अ हेटेरोसेक्सुअल कम्युनिटी एंड नीड्स सम मेंटल हेल्थ सर्विसेज, feel free to reach out to us.
Oh, that's amazing.
Definitely help them also. We are not discriminating in that way. Yeah.
So here you go. If you really need some mental health help, or if you would like to have somebody to talk about, or if you just want to just share your heart out, pour your heart out, you can always reach out to the Mobbera Foundation. You just need to identify as human. That's it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's amazing how Mobbera Foundation is creating safe spaces for people, not only from the community, but also outside of the community, just for humans in general. And it's great that you're accepting everyone. That's the best part.
Yeah.
I think somewhere we as humans have forgot that people, regardless of their sexuality or their gender or whatever identity that they come from, we're forgetting the basic concept that they're humans. Like, I think people need to remember, before discriminating or making fun of someone, or maybe just spreading misinformation, they should just remember this thing that, they're also humans, they also have emotions, and that, doing something like this might hurt them.
Absolutely.
Like, it is easy to just share a funny reel about them, or it is just so easy to talk ill of them, but it's not easy to heal a heart.
True. I think that's what the concept should be, and we always talk about inclusive society.
Yes.
We are not demanding something which we should be given a separate colony where only LGBT people will stay. No, that will not work. How do you get into the mainstream society is the main concept. Hence, I keep talking in the foundation also that we are trying to include everyone.
Include and also give them equal opportunities, just as other humans get.
Exactly. When we are demanding something outside there, we also have to open our space for the other communities also to come and join in.
Yes.
Because intersectionality is very important.
Absolutely.
For any kind of marginalized community. And that has to go in that way.
Yes. So, apart from the mental health issues that Mobbera Foundation deals with, what are the other kind of health issues that you usually tend to find in the community which needs to be addressed or which needs to be solved?
I think there are, again, it's a myth that community people is spreading HIV and all. That's not the concept though. But apart from the mainstream society, or a lot of people from the mainstream heterosexual community, the percentage for heterosexual community people is more than to homosexual people when it comes to HIV and all. But then lot of program, even the existence and talk about LGBT community came through the HIV intervention programs in India. Because if there would haven't been any HIV intervention, the existence of transgender identity or MSM, back then it was only MSM, that's called men having sex with men. They didn't know the terms called gay, bisexuals. No, back then it was not there. So the concept of the understanding or even having the concept of their existence came through HIV intervention programs in India. So for that, I think the physical health also, I myself am the Telangana state coordinator for HIV programs and all, while I also closely work with TSACS, Telangana States AIDS Control Society. So I'm very closely associated with that, because through that, many things connect to our work also. Physical health is also important. In the same time, when somebody is diagnosed or is suffering from HIV, they go through a lot mentally also. Suddenly somebody comes, you are HIV positive. So that person, being from the community, thrown out of the family, now they are also...
It takes a huge mental toll on them.
So that goes so much. So there our mental health buddy up comes into picture. If they have to go to some ICT centers wherein they will have to start their medications, we take them sometimes. Sometimes we become a buddy to them.
Yeah.
Because that's very important. You cannot leave them alone.
Yeah.
Because they're also the government sectors where people come down from the community.
Yeah.
They will have to go through a lot of questions like, लड़का लड़का क्यों किया? ये सब क्या है?
बहुत बुरा लगता है जब ये सब सवाल सुनते हैं.
So once you are already traumatized,
हाँ.
you are already from the community, you have been, being a positive person, and then you go for a treatment.
And then you're getting scrutinized.
Yes. So that person goes through a lot. At that time. So I think we always support, and we have been doing for the LGBT HIV intervention programs for a longer time now. And we have supported a lot of community people, mental support also, as well as helping them to come out of that situation. Start the medication is very important. Because if you do not, first and foremost thing for me, at any time when I come to know my friends also someone who is positive, my first and foremost thing is I have to know their VDRL count, and then immediately I have to start their medication. Because if you do not know, we don't know which stage are you right now and what will happen tomorrow. Yeah. If you're having a proper medication, it's just one of those. I feel HIV is nothing a big bimari. It's obviously a very, very dangerous bimari, but if you have a proper medication,
it could be
just like a diabetic person every day, like you take insulin, a lot of diabetic, or medicine also in that matter. Sugar patients do take medicines. It's the same thing. You have to just take one medicine. But I think people have made it so much traumatic, and something like if you say that mujhe HIV aa gaya hai, you're thrown out. Within the community also you find people discriminating it. So the taboo is so badly there that people get scared of the disease, and then they go through a lot of trauma. So we help community people in that way. Crisis handling is also another thing which we do in the Mobbera Foundation. People who knows coming out to a family, or family got to know about them suddenly, are thrown out of the houses, are beaten, house arrested. Sometimes their partner issues they feel, or sometimes dating applications issues. They're trying to meet and make some connections. Because our community people are most in the dating application. That's how you know who is from the community. That's how you connect with people. And nowadays, their heterosexual community people have also created an account, knowing the fact these community people are scared. If you call them, and if you tell them, and if you beat them, letting them know that if you don't give us money, your identity will be disclosed outside. We'll go and tell to your father, mother. Everybody will be scared, because not everyone is out and loud about their sexual or gender identity, right? So they get scared and they're giving out money. So that's the easy money to earn. People have understood.
People are taking advantage of their vulnerability.
Yes, we receive such kind of cases every day, and it has increased from last 1.5 years like anything. Previously also we used to get crisis cases, especially this dating application crisis cases we used to get before. But last 1.5 years, say, I think every week we have a similar case. Now the situation has come. If somebody calls when I got your number from one of my friend, and so actually I used Grindr, and then only this line is
enough for
sufficient.
you to understand.
I will tell the next story. So this was the thing. He called you to this place, and then a lot of people were there. They bet you. They are demanded money, and you gave. How do you know? I'm like, this is the situation. This is the same story. The areas is changing. That's it. Sometime I hear it from Old City. Sometime I hear it from Kukatpalli. These are the major area I'm talking about. The issues and the violence is so bad that they are beating them like anything, and then they are demanding money. The person gets a lot of traumatized, and so what are you getting? Even suppressing a community which already is suppressed.
That's
so
sad.
These are the cases we hear. Sometimes I feel low about it. Sometimes I feel, where are we heading all together as a society? Why are we doing this? But sometimes I have to also stand with them, being strong, because sometimes you listen story, you are also a human being. Sometimes even I'm a human being. I feel bad. I really feel bad. I feel lost somewhere, that one side we are doing so much, government is also doing their bit part so much, some or other way, but in the other side we are seeing all the stories.
That's really sad. It really like touched my heart when you said that. How are people suppressing the already suppressed people? That's just heart-wrenching. So you've mentioned about the government. How is the government supporting the Mobbera Foundation?
For foundation level, we don't really get any kind of direct support. As I said, Telangana State's AIDS Control Society, that is also government wing. With them, we do every year, I think right from 2015 till 2024, only 1 year, that was the COVID time, we didn't get a project from them. Or else every year, 3 months project, that is from September, October, November, and starting 1 or 2 days of December also. We do this sensitization through art again project, which is given by the Telangana state government, the SACS, which deals with the AIDS and HIV. So they give us this opportunity, I will say, to the community, and only to us, only to Mobbera, no other organization, because we have talent, and nobody can deny all queer people are more talented than any heterosexual people. We have talent for everything. So I have a beautiful team who does performances through message. So flash mob through message. So last year was the biggest one. We did it in 32 places.
Wow.
In 3 months, not 3 also, 2.5 months. We did it in 32 places, which includes all the major bus stops, railway stations, metro stations, malls, zoo, and wherever the public gatherings is much. We went ahead, we asked permissions, we got that space, we did that. We talked about through the community people, all were community people who were performing. With them, we made sure that the dialogue of HIV as well as representation from the community people comes together. And hence, government ke saath, we are working with that. There is no other direct connections with government. For the traffic police things, which you might have heard, that 33 traffic police were recruited in the last batch. There's upcoming batch also coming in. Wow. We were asked, we had a meeting with CV Anand sir, and then our representation, Anil was part of that meeting. And we were asked to send few names from our side also. Post that, they will select the best, depending on height. And there's so many things of selections of traffic police. They selected few names. So from the names which we have sent, I think 1 or 2% from our side got also selected among those 33 members. So now they are actively working from last 3 or 4 months now. So I think government is coming up with some initiative, but it's also very sad part that one side, and I've said this in many forums, I'm also sharing this here. One side, government is doing schemes for trans community, including them in the traffic. Recently, there's GHMC also have come up giving job opportunity for trans community people, only trans again, community people, for upskilling them and also giving them job. That's a good initiative, I won't say. But in the same time, in the same government, police is harassing the LGBT community, trans community people in that way, that they do not understand their existence, they do not respect their existence. So it's a very, how do we say, it's a very diplomatic thing. So one side, the government says that we are doing so much for the community, we are doing, in the same time, their own the people who are supposed to protect the law, the police people, are not doing their part. They are harassing the community, they are beating the community, they are not listening to the communities, they are putting false allegations to the community. So this has to change. If
The
you say that,
hypocrisy needs to
yes,
stop.
that has to be stopped. That one side you proclaim, then you have to see also within your system what is the wrong thing happening. And it's not that we haven't highlighted this to the government. There are spaces, there are forums where these issues have been highlighted. It's high time, it's very much high time that government take first that step to change our own people mindset, then we will change the society.
Great. I just love how you've mentioned earlier about the crisis management part, where you've said that, we help them with situations where, they're thrown out of home, or maybe they're dealing with issues because of the dating apps, or maybe they're just not treated well. I love how Mobbera is not only a foundation that offers services to the community, but also stands with them, like with love, like, I am there with you. Like when you said that when they need to go for medications, you actually, or somebody, your representatives, or someone from the community or the foundation goes along with the
With them,
patient and ensures that they take the medication and stuff. I think this is wonderful, because you're telling them that, we're not just a foundation, we're there for you, we love you. And and that's the human touch that most of the times we lack.
Yeah, we are lacking. We are
lack
losing
that.
it every day. I believe
lack that.
we are losing it. I don't know how much I will be able to do in next 5 years or 10 years, but till the time I can do, I will make sure that this foundation should not be any of those NGO who is just doing their part. No, human touch nahi hai. If you are not a human, you can never work. If you cannot show humanity to people, you cannot say that you are in a social sector. You cannot say you're a social worker. No, you can't. If you have humanity, then you are in this sector.
Absolutely.
Without humanity, nobody can work. Nobody can survive in this sector. Hence, I always used to say that this is my misconception or my myth, that all the NGOs are community friendly. But years after, people have proved me wrong. Not all NGOs or CBOs are from the community. Are community friendly.
Okay.
There are times I've seen a lot of NGOs and CBOs who are not community friendly also. They discriminate the community people also.
That's sad.
My thought process was wrong, and that is a myth again. That since they are in the social sector, they'll understand the social issues. But not everyone does it. But I'm glad lot of people do. A lot of CBOs, NGOs I have worked with years now. So they are community friendly. They come and stand with us also with solidarity, and that's beautiful thing to even
That's great.
understand.
So yeah, like as I was saying, sometimes you know what is the right thing, you know what is the wrong thing, you know what you need to do, but you just need somebody's presence with you who could just give you that support, like that pat on the shoulder, that a little gentle push, that we're there with you and we're ready to support you. So I think that's the best thing that you're offering, because I can't highlight how important this is. Like it's very important, because there have been times in my life, I'm a straight woman, but I just wish that I had somebody with me while I was dealing through some difficulties in life.
Absolutely.
So I can only imagine how much more difficult it would be for someone coming from the community who has already been through lots of trauma since childhood and who is also going through more trauma right now. I think only somebody's presence and somebody calming them down is like the best medicine that they can get.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the medicines do their part, but this is the other medicine that they
talking about Buddy Up itself, most of our cases is not about I am going through so much and you give me some medicine. No.
Yeah.
And again, trigger warning, most of our suicides within the community, especially trans community, is because there is no one to listen their story. I have seen this in last 2-3 years, while I've seen a lot of trans people. We are losing a lot of trans people from Hyderabad, from Telangana.
Oh my
Most of the time, it's not about they have gone through some clinical depression or they have gone through something. No. It's most about, in Telugu, na bada vinnadaniki evaru ledu. There's no one to even, I can talk about it, I can express. So I think in the Buddy Up also, psychologists who are dealing with all things, they are receiving cases where people just sharing their story. My mom didn't support. My mom supported, but my daddy is little. So I'm feeling little awkward. I'm feeling guilt about it. Am I doing something wrong? Just wanted to share. So So I think the storytelling, telling
ఎవరైనా
your tale,
వినటానికి ఉంటే చాలు.
chalu. So that is the main thing I'm looking ahead, and I think that's very important. We are losing people, we are losing friendship, we are losing so many things just because we are not there for each other. If as a human we are not there for
Yeah.
each other, and what more can you even think, and why do we even need this life as a human being?
Yeah.
We don't need it now. We have to be there. If today you are with someone, definitely there will be 10 people standing for you at the time you need it.
Absolutely.
And I've seen myself. I have myself seen it. Whoever I have been standing from years with them, foundation, NGO, these are all side me. First, they are my community member. I have to be with them. I have to stand with them. I have to listen to them. I have to go with them. I have to make sure they're calm. They're doing good in their life through job, through mental health services, or whatever that is there. That's a support. But I have to stand with them. I have to know them what's going on in their life. So that is very important as a human being. That's bring you whatever you are today. Yeah.
That's great. So, what do you see as the co-founder of Mobbera Foundation? What do you think the future of Mobbera looks like? Like, how do you imagine it to be within the span of next 5 years, maybe?
I think that's a very difficult question I've always gone through. Many people have asked me this, but I don't have a proper answer to it because back 10 years, we didn't know what we will be doing. We didn't know where we will reach here. Never in a horrible dream also nobody thought. Nobody. All the founders among 4 are still there with me. They talk to me, calling that, did we even thought we will come here? Did you even thought you'll have such a big team? Did you even thought that you're going to impact so many lives? Never. So it was all what opportunity we got. I'm grateful again. And what people stood with me telling, chalo karte hain. And what I saw the issues outside. All three when got connected, we were able to do all this years. But again, if I have to really answer your questions, there's so many plans I have. Now we say that community awareness is there. There are a lot of things happening outside. But there are still issues which are very shocking for all of us, like harassment with police. It's shocking to us because they are the law protector. They are only telling all this. Parents still not understanding in this era. There's so many challenges I have seen that. So I think for next 5 years or 10 years, my goal will be like, or I will think, or I will expect there should not be any Mobbera.
Oh,
I don't
that is
want,
deep. That is really deep.
I don't want Mobbera to
I
be
think
there.
this is amazing because you're literally telling us that, you know, foundations such as Mobbera shouldn't exist because we live in a society that is full of equality, inclusivity,
We don't
so
need-
much love and support where everybody is treated as humans.
No, everyone should be treated. Yes, everybody should be treated
Everybody are equal, everybody is equally empowered, everybody is living a life of their own and accepted for who they are. I think this is the most amazing thing that I've heard today.
Yes, I think we should not. Why do we need communities?
Absolutely.
Why do we need organizations? Why do you need even Sandy in that matter? I shouldn't be also there. I should be just roam around with somewhere. I just go in some trees and some hills and sit over there and enjoy my life. Why do I need to handle such cases? I would love to. I will obviously love to be there for the community.
You would always love to be there for your folks.
But I don't want any issues. Kyun hona any issues? Not
Wow. This is the most wonderful thing I've heard today, folks. Okay. So, I'd have to share one of my stories that I went shopping yesterday with my dad. So when I went out shopping, I went to this store, MAC Cosmetics in Upadhi. So, I was just trying to try on some makeup and the person who was helping me was trans. And I was so happy for her. I'm not even kidding. I was so happy. Like, it makes me really happy to see people from the community trying to do something for themselves, where they are empowering themselves and they're just happy in life. She was so happy in doing what she was doing. She was really sweet. So, it just made me already know, I like my heart went out for her. Like I could only imagine the pain that she must have probably gone through and the odds that she had to defy. But the amount of love that she still has, the support that she was still giving, and the way she was so empowered and confident in doing what she was doing, it genuinely made me really happy. I mean, that joy cannot be described properly. I mean, I was telling my dad this. I told my mom this after coming home. I even told my relatives, like, how amazing is this? Like, I would love to see more people from the community get empowered, because at the end of the day, they're also humans.
True.
We forget that.
True. If given opportunity, they will definitely
shine. They'll definitely shine.
Yes, yes.
And I mean, it's not, see, your identity or your sexual preferences should not define your capacity to do something, your ability to prove yourself at work, or your ability to do something, or your ability to complete a task. You could be just majestic in it. You could just be so wonderful in it, but you were not given the right opportunity.
True.
You were not just identified. You were just not given the right situation where you could just prove yourself. I think, this needs to change. This needs to change. And rightly, as Sandy has said, Mobbera shouldn't exist. And no other foundation like this should actually exist within the next 5 years. I really hope that, we as a society come together where we offer support, there's so much love, where we're just ready to listen to them. And where we're there to help them out.
Absolutely.
And we're there to understand that they're also humans, and that we're just including them with us. And I think that's the most wonderful part. So we've come to the end of our episode. Thank you so much, Sandy, for actually just blowing our minds off. I mean, I just love this episode. This will always remain a personal favorite. I'm not even kidding.
Thank you so much for having me. I think, as I already said while I came, among very less time I get to sit with so many researched person together who have idea and who have questions which has to be answered properly, and information should be going in a correct way. So thank you for doing this. I wish you all the best. Maybe the upcoming episodes which you do also hit along with this episodes also. So all the best for that, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy.